How are we there, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, as always, joined by Benno, as always. How you been, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Another week. Hump day. Happy hump day, all.
That's it, mate. Couple of days to go before the weekend and another round of football will get underway. Before we get started, big shout out to Gabriel Mar, optometrist at Jasmine. Be sure to go see those guys for all your eye care plus needs. Yeah, major sponsor of the show. They do absolute wonderful things down there. So if you need prescription sunglasses or, just fitted glasses of some sort for the adults, the kids, and everything else in between, be sure to go down and see those guys.
Or for gamers.
Yeah, for gamers as well. Yeah, the blue lights, which Benny's about to put on now. Mine are out of reach, so I'm not getting them on at the moment. But yeah, blue light glasses and everything else. Go down, see Gabe and the girls, and drop Crossbar Capers, and they will give you a little bit of a discount as well. So, yeah, on today's show, we are going to talk the weekend that was Newcastle Jets' first victory. Not only was the first victory, but one against Perth, which don't come around too often for us, being the bogey side. So, got away with that one. We'll talk about that in depth. But joining us this week, we do have a Newcastle Jets legend, Nova Castrian. Over 100 games for the Jets. He played a few games for the Central Coast too. We won't hold that one against him. But you hear him giggling away in the background there. Ben Kennedy, mate, it's a pleasure to have you on, mate. How are you, buddy?
It's a pleasure to be here, guys. So yeah, no, I'm doing well, and yeah, like you said, hump day. So yeah, can't complain with that.
That's exactly right, mate. Couple of days to go. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Feel free, say good day, drop any questions you've got for Ben. Ben or myself will try and pick them up as we go on. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about your career that was, mate. Still is, I suppose. If anyone follows, the local NPL, and Lambton Jaffers got up grand final winners.
Where's Luke? I can see him lurking somewhere.
Oh, mate. He would have been front and centre, mate. He would have been like a kid in a candy shop waiting for this one. New Lambton Tragic would have been down at the grand final there, friggin' absolutely going bananas.
Pretty sure he was there.
He was there. He would have been. Yeah, he was there.
There you go. There was quite a few people there, which was good. So,
well, I was going to say, yeah, good turnout. I think it was good as well. There's, the men, the women as well. Obviously, a couple of the juniors, I believe, as well. The 19s or 20s. I can't keep up with
yeah, I think they did it. Well, yeah, they did it different. The 18s and reserve grade for both the men's and the women was the day before at Spears Point.
Yep.
I think maybe they were a bit worried about the weather. Obviously washing out, so I think they just wanted to make sure they got them done. But no, it was a good day with the both the first grades grand finals on there. So it was a good day, and it was a fairly big crowd actually. So it was good.
Yeah, come away with the chocolates again, mate. Did it the hard way this year from looking back at it. I got to a few games, but this season, but a fourth, I believe. Was that right? You scraped
third, becoming third. Yeah, it was kind of a bit weird this season, obviously with all the rain and everything, and yeah, I think there was a point there where we ended up playing about 8 games in 4 weeks, something like that, and yeah, it wasn't good fun. But I think at one point we were playing at about 8:15 out at Blacksmiths, which yeah, on a Wednesday night, that's not ideal. So yeah, no, look, it was difficult in terms of that, but yeah, our main focus throughout the year was obviously it would have been nice to mine a premiership, and that kind of come down to the last day. But no, our main focus was make the finals and go from there. So obviously, yeah, it worked out well for us.
Yeah, not really cutting a break between COVID seasons and now bloody just the weather was just nuts. Like I play for Minmai in Zone Premier League 1 and just crazy, just trying to fit games in, and you got as you said, Bell Swans and so forth at 8:00 at night. We had Stocko midweek. Like Jesus Christ, it's just
it was strange, especially like you said after the COVID year last year, and it's like I've been back with Lambton. I think that was my third year, and I think this was the first year where it's actually been a full year. So it was the first year I was there, we ended up only playing, I think it was a 13-game season, something like that, and then last year it got obviously shortened with COVID again, and then this year just all the rain. It was it's been a strange couple of years. So hopefully next year there's nothing that nothing that will get in the way of that, and we'll get a full season and no washouts or anything. It'll be nice.
That's exactly right, mate. So around again, confirmed just then.
Yeah,
Around
no,
Sounds like it.
I'm going around again. So I'm enjoying it. It's a lot less stressful, a lot less pressure. So just train a couple of nights a week and games on weekends. So I'm enjoying it. While everyone's still enjoying it and still can do it, I'm going to do it. So yeah.
That's exactly it, mate. Well, your body can still go, mate. You keep going because that's it. When you stop, it's it's when you sort of sit back and go, shit, could I have gone another year?
Don't remind me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to see, obviously, the NPL, how it's all panned out. And, from when I was, 18, 19 years of age playing at the Buds, whatever it was called back then, the NBN State League, and so forth. And now to where it's come and the players that are playing in the tournament, in the competition, sorry, not the tournament, the Jacob Peppers,
Yeah.
your, who else is in there? Bloody
Oh,
Boogs.
You got
Matty
Bugs,
Thompson, Boogs, Reegs.
Yeah, the freaking mayor of
Even Melling as well, Jakey Melling.
Yeah, Jakey
now,
Melling.
so-
Who was the other one that I friggin'
Josh Rose is
got
there.
across my
Rosie,
mind the other
yeah.
day?
Brox was still playing up to this year.
Played for the Jets. What was his name? Can't remember. Nick Calburn.
Yeah,
Oh,
Calbs, yeah. Calbs
he was
down at Valor, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's good though. It's good to see that everyone's moving around and
Yeah,
still enjoying their footy and obviously helping the community, the communal side of football out. In not only on the pitch playing on obviously Saturday or Sunday, but at trainings and so forth. We've getting down to the juniors and helping out there, and I'm sure you do a little bit with the juniors at Lambton, keeping wise and stuff like that. Getting to a couple of training sessions or whatever through the year, and
yeah, it's been it is good. Obviously, that there's quite a few of us still, able to play it. So we are, and yeah, like you said, just like I'm actually the goalkeeper coach at Lambton for all the juniors from 9s up to 16. So I did all those goalkeepers, and yeah, I know Bogues does a bit out at Charlestown as well, and yeah, so obviously can only be good for the competition having players like Bogues' caliber and Matty Tomo's caliber still running around, and Calbs and those types of guys. So yeah, can only be a positive for the competition, and I think also a positive for the clubs that we're all at, and hopefully can help a few of the younger ones come through.
yeah, well, that's exactly right. And I wish I had that when I was 18, 16 and so forth. With the players of you guys playing in the A League and so forth, just being in there as seniority and helping, as I said, helping the young ones through and helping out with techniques and stuff like that. Yeah, little things that coaches can't really do. You know what I mean? Like it's just the things that the professional players who play at that level can tweak and stuff. Because as I said, they're on the pitch and it's a completely different sort of field of being a coach. Elliot's got a good question there, Benno. If you want to pick that one up down the bottom.
Oh yeah. Question for BK: what was his experience as an athlete dropping from A League to NPL? Any tips for other pros that might be dropped?
At first, I actually did struggle a little bit, to be honest. Because you kind of go from that professional environment to then a much more laid back environment where you train 2 nights a week, maybe 3 nights a week. You come from work. Football's not really. I guess it is a focus, but it's probably not the main focus. So I did struggle at first, just in terms of trying to get used to the standard of training and maybe asking players to do stuff that they're not used to or whatever. So at start it definitely was a little bit tough in that sense, but I'm lucky at Lambton. We've got a pretty good side. We've got lots of players that have been there at the Jets, Jets youth team and whatnot, who our training sessions are quite good and the standard is quite high. So that's obviously a good thing. And obviously over time you just kind of get used to the laid back style of, we might have, training and then go to the pub after for a beer and dinner, and after games you go back to the pub for a beer, and not really something you do in the A League or professional ranks. So it's just coming to terms with, just probably how laid back and that side of things is.
Yeah. No. Well, we may as well go back to the beginning. I
Yep.
guess you're talking about youngsters and what it's like coming up through the ranks and so forth. I believe again. We're only going off Wikipedia, and trust me, after previous podcasts with previous players, I've robbed players of hundreds of games. I've robbed players of friggin' teams.
Yeah,
that
Scott
they
Miller's
played
not
at.
your favourite person.
No, mate. That was.
You've robbed
Give
him
me
like
that.
40 games.
Yeah, well, can only go off Wikipedia. Unfortunately, I didn't watch all 300 and something of his games. So,
Yeah.
2006,
Yes.
I believe was when you signed the contract with the Jets.
Oh, now I'm trying to think. Go back. I was
Well,
actually lucky enough. It's probably not even on Wikipedia. I was actually involved when it was the NSL.
through the
I
youth.
come through all the. My first year was under 13s, and it was with the Breakers. So that's how long ago it was.
No,
So I come kind of like, I guess, the emerging Jets,
Yep.
similar sort of thing, and we used to play down in the Sydney Comp in the Premier Youth League. It used to be called. Just kind of come through there and ended up in the last 2 years at NSL. I was in the youth team, and I think I was only 15, 16, and I was training with the first grade and sat on the bench a few times. So I was kind of lucky in that sense. And then, the first year of the A League, I was like a scholarship type player. I think there was 4 of us. I sat on the bench a few times, but my first actual contract was the second year of the A League. So that was the first, I guess,
2006,
professional contract.
Yep. So we'll run from there. We'll run from
Yep.
you've signed your first contract, new league. The club is essentially new. We've gone out from the Breakers and so forth, Newcastle United, now to the Newcastle Jets.
Yep.
What was that like as a youngster coming in? Obviously, some of the players in there were, massive. You had your Ocons and alike. What was it like playing, mixing with those boys?
Yeah, it was kind of obviously being a Newcastle kid, and obviously grew up watching the Breakers, and you never really had anyone like someone like a Paul Ocon kind of level or anything like that, and I guess I was lucky enough to he was obviously involved. Then obviously you have boys like Joel Griffo just come back from Leeds, I think it was, or the Swiss side. Nicky Carl and all those types of guys that you guess when you're growing up you kind of just dream of playing with. So it was a bit surreal at first, and then kind of how that first season panned out was, I guess it was a bit strange. I ended up playing, I think it was about the first 10 games. I was the only goalkeeper signed. It's as funny as that. It's like, thinking back, you think, how's that even possible? But I think there's a backstory to it. I'm not really sure what happened there. But for the first while, I was the only goalkeeper there. So I was kind of got thrown in and probably wasn't really ready, to be honest. But I guess what better way to get in there is just kind of get thrown in and off you go. So
Not much other choice, I guess.
that's it. It was pretty much it until I ended up actually getting an injury, and that kind of thought, oh, maybe we need another goalkeeper, and it was just a bit of a shambles, to be honest. But no, it's, I guess, at the end of the day, it probably helped me. If someone might have had more experienced goalkeeper, I probably wouldn't have played for a few years or had a few games under my belt. So it was definitely strange that first little bit of the season, and it was I guess a surreal moment. So
definitely something that every Novocastrian would be jumping at the bit to sort of be in your shoes
yeah,
at that age. And as you said, only keeper at the time. It's
yeah,
like you said, like you've won the lottery. It's like, don't even have any competition. Here we go.
it was strange. It was strange. So I signed another keeper, but something not sure what had happened, but there was a miscommunication somewhere along the lines, and it's I'm not sure what happened, to be honest.
Well, let's look at the keeping history. Like you've definitely been around some quality keepers
Yep.
through your career. There's no doubt about that, especially at the Jets. You've got your Birras, you've got your Duncan is as much as the Jets fans these days might have their issues.
Yeah.
He's definitely a good keeper on his day.
Mm-hmm.
Ante
Kovic.
Well, that's my next one. Ante
Yeah.
Kovic was probably our best keeper I think we've had.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
For me in our history. What's it been like competing with those guys? You've gone obviously, you started obviously on your own, but then you work your way up, and then you've got blokes like Kovic coming in and Vera's coming in, and then it is a competition. I think it's probably the one question I've always wanted to ask a goalkeeper, because you see it in like the Premier League and everything else, and it's you've got these two exceptional goalkeepers who could definitely play at the top level for any team, but here they are competing for the one spot, especially in the A-League when it is. It's not like there's Champions League football and League Cup and then Carabao Cup and then all these leagues and shit where they're guaranteed games. It's a season at the early days of maybe 24, 25 games, and that's it.
Well, I don't even think I'm pretty sure from memory the first couple of years were, I think they were lucky to even be 20-game seasons.
Yeah,
from memory.
that's it.
I remember bloody one year it was the other is we had a Mad Monday on Australia Day, so that's how early the season finished.
Oh wow!
It used to finish really early, and I think there was only about 20 games or so. So yeah, guess it's lots changed since then. But yeah, go to your question. Obviously, there's been some really good keepers, and obviously Cover's one that stands out. For me, he's been the best at the club. He come in straight from Hammarby, I think it was, in Sweden, and obviously he went to the World Cup 2006 as the third choice. To have someone like that around the club and to learn off was that was amazing for me, and kind of got to see how he did things and how he prepared for games, and just watch him in training every day, and it was someone like myself. I knew he was obviously going to play every week because he's a great goalkeeper and whatnot. So someone like him there was was beneficial for myself, and he also helped me out quite a lot, which was I'm always thankful for. So he's definitely one that I think I was very lucky to play with and learn from it training every day for sure.
Before we before we obviously dive into the game that was on the weekend, as I said, guys, we're going to sort of split it up a little bit, not just sort of hammer him with all these questions. We'll give him sort of a bit of a breather and so forth in the middle there. But I think the main one this side of talking about the weekend's game, I think we've got to talk about the grand final. Now, I know you didn't play in the grand final, but for a Novocastrian, 2008, as a fan, the season was mental. It was an unbelievable season. It's probably something that, even the grand final, the recent grand final we're in, it just wasn't the same. It was good. It was
2018.
Yeah, 2018. It was great that it was at home. That was fantastic. It was good to see the stadium packed again. But again, it had been so long since I'd seen the stadium absolutely that full. It was ridiculous. But 2008, it was so freaking hot. I can remember it. Traveling down by a bus, it was chaos. It was like 29, 30 degrees or some shit.
Yeah, it was.
It was nuts. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I remember. I still remember that. I was obviously on the bench, and we went down obviously the day before, and all I remember is we caught the bus from the sports club in Adamstown, and just pretty much all the way to the freeway. There was cars pulled over on the side of the road, and people waving their flags and whatnot, and that was just kind of a surreal moment. And obviously the grand final day when you can't really full stadium down there at the SFS as it was back then, and what a day that was. It was you played in front of I remember Melbourne Victory used to get 40-odd thousand when they were playing at I can't remember what it's called there, the dome down there, and you get occasions where at home we would get 25, 26,000, but that grand final day, just the atmosphere was something different that I probably haven't even experienced since. So yeah, it was definitely a great day, and yeah, I still remember that day like it was yesterday, really.
Yeah, what the amount of players we've past players who played in that season that we've spoken to that can
Yep.
definitely remember it. Joel's got
Yep.
a great memory
Yep.
of
Mm,
that day, more so of the after party, I reckon, than
yeah.
um than the grand
Yeah.
final, jumping backyards and freaking all this shit. He was, oh
Hopping
mate,
Yeah,
fences
the
and
old
swimming pools and
swimming pool in the old physio. Yeah, jumping in the old physio swimming pool.
so it's again, but it's good to see. Like we had him on 12 months ago, but
Yeah.
it's been a while. But he's still so
it's
fresh in
etched
the
in the
mind.
mind.
It is,
Yeah,
yeah.
it definitely is. Definitely is. It's yeah, there's lots of memories from that time, and obviously you kind of look back, and I actually still say it to people these days. I actually still think that's one of the best ever A-League squads, and
Yeah,
I would nearly put it up against nearly any other A-League squad, to be honest. When you kind of look at the players that were in there, and
yep.
so yeah, it's definitely a time that I'll never forget. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, it was definitely again. Even the fans, like I can remember coming home on the way home on the bus and pulling into the twin servers. I'll never forget this. It was so funny watching,
Yeah,
and then you're sitting there, everyone's sort of stopped for a piss break, and
yeah,
Con gets out of the limo to
yeah.
go take a piss, and he's
Yeah.
like got the trophy, and
He did take the trophy, yes. But remember
he,
that because on the way home, we obviously didn't have the trophy on our bus, so can't remember who it was. One of the guys grabbed the actual toilet seat off the toilet in the back of the bus and was using that as a trophy.
Classic.
I
Absolute
can't
classic.
remember who it might have been Jura maybe, but yeah, it was someone was there and I can't remember who it was and they were using that as a trophy, so yeah.
It was
But
just
Con took the trophy with him that night.
that he
That's
did.
right.
He was not letting it go. He's
No,
walking
he
across,
wasn't.
No.
trudging across the car park to take a piss with it in hand. He's like, I'm not letting it go.
Yeah.
Which was great to see. Like
Yeah.
you could see how much it meant to him.
Yeah.
For what he'd put into the club and what he'd done for the club
Yeah.
to get his rewards and
Yeah, no, for sure. Con was definitely a massive part of the club, and even back in the United days, and that he was,
yeah,
he was very passionate, and his priority was always obviously make sure that the team did well, and yeah, it was kind of sad the day when he had to move on from the club. I think
yep,
someone like him, he'd still be owning it now if he could. So.
yeah.
Yeah, Con was massive part of the club and massive part of the history of the club. So yeah, to win it and to kind of see how happy he was, and I think he'd had a few beverages as well.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so to see him happy, and that was definitely a good thing to see as well.
Yeah, no, that it was obviously capped off down at the Adamstown Oval
Yep,
at the end of the night. That was chaos.
yep,
Thank God that was only a 2-minute walk home.
Yeah,
yeah,
but for you it would have been.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, straight back to mum's. Friggin', it was fantastic. So yeah, no, obviously yeah, great year. Again,
yeah,
the Jets haven't really seen anything like that since. As I said, we talked about the 2018 grand final
yeah.
where we were robbed. Should have won the game.
I
Hundred
actually went to
percent.
that game as well too. Yeah,
I
Yeah, you
flew
were there.
from I flew from Melbourne for it and nearly missed
Yeah.
my flight. Let's not go into that story.
Yeah, but you got there, mate. You got there in the end, and
I got there with about an hour to spare.
it was a good game. It was a good squad too. It was a really good squad.
It was a
Only
good
Merrick freaking turned on the charm and got the best out of the players without his smile and shit like that, which was interesting to see. But yeah, we may as well talk about the game that was. Cut you a break a little bit, and we'll talk about the game that was on the weekend. And interesting one, very interesting one. 2-1 victory in the end. It was a good game. I was there. I don't know about anyone in the chat, if anyone else was there and so forth. Did you get along, Ben? No, you missed it. I think you said, didn't you?
Yes. I had my presentation night on actually, so I was
Wow.
kind of I was watching at the pub. Yeah, it's always kind of hard when you kind of got everything going on, but I seen the goal, so definitely the last goal, which was yeah,
Yeah,
it
good touch.
was it was it was obviously to come away with the win there when you're a man down, and that's good signs really. It's good character building for the squad, and definitely gives you momentum and brings lots of positivity around the group. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a good start of the season. I don't know what it is. We struggle against the Coast. I think we've played them too many times now, round one, and we always struggle. I don't know
Yeah.
why. So, again, it was good for me because I missed the game against the Coast. I had an engagement party on, so I couldn't go.
Ours
and
are
then they're like,
packs.
and then it's like it's cancelled and like happy
Yeah.
days. Just mainly because I really didn't want it round one. I wasn't a fan when I seen the draw round one. I'm like, for God's sake,
It's always round one, and we always start sluggish.
Yeah, but it's 3
Except
points.
for the year I went down the Central Coast, and I think you smacked us like 5-1 or something. But
Yeah,
I didn't
that was the
so
Roy
that's
hat trick,
alright.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Wasn't
that was
that-
probably the one time you're okay with that being round one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree that it kind of feels like not lost a bit, but see each other a bit too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's even going to happen now. Like they've rejigged the fixtures, and it's
They
within,
like twice
2
in
weeks of
2
each
weeks
other.
or something.
Yeah.
It's just just not for
Yeah.
me. You need that really separate one in the start. Not round one, like round 3 maybe. Round 3.
Give it
In
a
the
break,
middle somewhere, and then finish off the season with a bang.
Yeah, it's one thing I never understood with the A-League, and they used to always have either a Melbourne derby or the Melbourne Sydney derby. All the games used to be round one, and I never understood why. To be honest, I was like, I would want it where you're going to go. Oh, you got a derby this week, or maybe a derby next week. Like spread them out. Whereas they kind of like to put everything in round one for whatever reason, and no idea why.
It's all about the early viewership.
Yeah.
No, it's again. There's plenty to talk, plenty of good stuff this year. 3 o'clock on a Sunday. Yeah, how good is 3 o'clock kickoffs on a Sunday? It's fantastic.
Not when you live stream at 3 o'clock on a Sunday.
Oh, you're in Melbourne, mate. Calm down.
As a player, I'll say I used to hate the 3 o'clock kickoff because it was always too hot. But I understand for the fans, it's always a good time. But yeah, as a player, I used to hate it, to be honest. But
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've usually had a few by then, so
yeah,
could be right.
It's one of those things. It's too late for lunch, but it's too early for dinner.
Yeah.
It's good for Macca's on the way home. It's just good for the away days. You can travel to Macarthur or Sydney or whatever it is, and then the game's over at 5 o'clock. Pick some Macca's up on the way home with the kids, and you're asleep by the time you get home. Happy days.
And you got the time to get home.
Exactly right, without sort of sitting there at 9, 10 o'clock going, God, still not home.
Got to get up and go to work.
Yeah. For sure.
But the game itself was really good. I think it was funny, Benno. I was saying it to the wife actually just before you said something. I'm sitting there going to her. I was like, "Holy shit! They're picking up the seconds. It's like they lose the ball."
It has been my one gripe with the Jets for
I know.
about 10 years. They never ever got the second ball.
Oh.
They never ever got the second ball, and there's never anybody for the rebound at the edge of the box.
Yeah.
It's one thing the Jets have never been able to do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a long time coming. Just watching just players urgency and willingness to chase the shit that they may have just missed, or they've they feel
There's that hunger.
Yeah, the hunger is there. They feel like that they can win everything, and honestly, it was more than not on Saturday. They'd lose the ball and they'd win it back. I'd say almost 8 times out of 10. Even if they didn't win
Beck
the
is a
ball back,
machine.
Yeah,
Like,
Beck looked good.
1 minute he's taking a shot, the next minute he's the last man in the defense.
Yeah,
like he's a machine, that bloke.
Yeah, Pappas has got him turning, playing some really good football at the moment. It's good to see. It's something that we probably haven't seen in a while. Again, I don't know, just sort of brings me back. I said just the urgency. It's just so good to see. I was talking to bloody Matty. I was sitting with Matty there in the second half.
Yeah.
He'd come over and I was like, if we lose this, fingers crossed we don't. It was still 1-0 at that time.
Yeah.
But if we lose this, I'm not going to be overly upset because they played well enough to win it. And, they played for 90 minutes, or that time was 60 minutes, but they played for the whole 60 minutes. They hadn't switched off. It's where they did last the season before.
Yeah.
They'd come to 60-odd minutes and they'd switch off and they'd...
It was the same thing. Last season, we'd push hard for the first 20, 25 and then just relax into the second half.
Yeah.
And they knew the 45-minute whistle was coming, and they'd concede within that last 5 minutes of the half.
Yeah. So to me, it was 2-0. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to go on about the penalty because Perth didn't do enough to score it.
Nah.
You know what I mean? They didn't want it enough.
Aside from the fact that they hit the bar.
Yeah, they hit the bar. I'm not going to say they had no shots. They had a couple of good shots, but not enough. Not enough that they were any major concern. Holy shit, they're going to run away with the victory, which is what they normally do. Which is what Perth do. They do it to us all the freaking time. Ben was there.
Yeah.
He's been there.
That was from the bloody first season. I still remember. Yeah, anytime we played Perth at home, we would struggle. They're just the bogey team.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who was playing for them, who wasn't playing. They were just always the bogey team.
Yep.
Like for years, we were kind of like Melbourne Victory's bogey team. They were our bogey team. I used to hate it.
Yeah. It was like I can remember it one year. It was years ago now. I don't remember who it was. I swear it was Brisbane. Like, we played Brisbane and we smashed them. It was like 4-0 or something. And we just looked so good. I was like, holy shit, this is, the season's turning. Here we go, And then the following week, we played Perth and got freaking beat 3-0 and played no different. But I'm going, we haven't played bad. We've played no different than what we did the week before and beat Brisbane 4-0. How the hell are we getting beat 3-0?
I've learned over the years that when analysing games like that, the A-League has absolutely no logic.
Oh,
you cannot apply logic to it. You cannot apply form to it. It is it is what it is on the day.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. It's just every day that we play Perth, it's shit.
The only time we had a good game against Perth was very early on, and we're actually losing 3-1 in stoppage time, and we ended up coming back and drawing 3-3. That's the only time I can have good memories of Perth.
That was my next question. I was going to say, can you remember beating Perth?
Beating Perth?
Jeez.
Yeah, off the top of my head, no. I'm sure there probably is, obviously a few games there, but
it's not
off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, and honestly, it probably haven't. I'm not want to burst your bubble.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Yeah,
not that it would have been your fault. Not that it would have been your fault, but
and a lot of them have come in recent years.
Yeah,
a lot of them have come in recent years.
Just trying to think.
Hang on. Now you might have. What was the one when we went to Perth and
we come back and won at 4-3?
No, Wayne Coat. Yeah, Wayne Brown. Wayne Coat was on fire. As they used to say, freaking Wayne Brown. Wayne Brown scored the winner or something. That was.
Yeah.
He was there in your time.
Brownie. Yeah. I think Brownie. Think that might have been the year I snapped my Achilles, actually, from memory.
Yeah, I think it was.
Might have been, yeah. So I didn't play. Yeah, I think.
There you go.
Yeah, that would have been when Jonesy was coaching, maybe. So I think maybe not sure now, but I think the first year Brownie was here, I played. That was when Scotty Miller was in charge. And the second year, I think Brownie was still here, and Jones was in charge. And that's the year I snapped my Achilles. So so I don't think I played in that game.
There you go. Season over, contract over, off to the coast.
Pretty much, yeah.
We'll get into that. But finishing up obviously on the game, it was again the red card. O'Donovan would have been thrown.
I made the comment in our chat. Elsie was taking defensive lessons from Roy O'Donovan.
Seriously, it hadn't even gone to the full. He hadn't even gone to the VAR yet, and I was literally saying, I was like, I bet Roy is sitting there spitting chips right now.
Yeah,
If he doesn't get 10, seriously, unbelievable. And then he only got 2. He would have been losing his trolley.
but I said the same thing as well. Irregardless if it was a penalty because it was in by a millimetre as the VAR determined or not, you got to give it. The red card. You got to give it.
Oh yeah.
It's dangerous conduct.
It's a red card. There's no question about it. And again, he wasn't standing on the field, bloody trying to contest that it wasn't. Are you kidding me?
No, he knew. He knew.
again, but he gave him the second yellow, went for the red. I was like, yep, happy with that. Happy days.
Yeah.
And then when they went back to the VAR and it's like it's going to be a straight red, I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, you've given him the red card. He's going to be suspended. Okay, it warrants another extra game. It would have been one game. Now he's got two. But
Yeah, but it plays dodgies if you do it the other way in the later part of the system when the cards reset.
yeah,
So that yellow still counts on the tally for. That's why.
Later.
yeah. So what happens now? So he's got two yellows. So one of them's going to be taken off now. So he's only got one yellow for the.
No, so he's got one yellow and a straight
One
red.
yellow and a red.
Yeah, one yellow. Yeah. So he's still four more to go before his second suspension.
Well, yeah, one game and he's already got one yellow and a red.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Great start. and the goal. And the goal. We've done everything.
To be
What do you
fair,
want?
yeah, and the goal. To be fair, aside from the brain fart, he had a good game.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't fault him.
Honestly, you couldn't really fault any of the boys. As I said, they were on. They were ready. And they played an exceptional 90 minutes. You go down to 10 men, old Jets, head down. That would,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Sure.
That opens the
100%.
floodgates normally.
That's it. Holy shit, how are we coming back from this? It's only a draw, but I don't know. For me, I don't know what it was like for you. But, you were playing, Ben, but to me, it was just, guys, it's 1-1. Essentially,
Yeah, back
right?
in those days, it was shut the doors and hold on.
We're not.
Yeah.
But not even then. We're not. It's like we're not losing, guys. You don't have to go shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
We just got to try and conserve what we've got now, which is a draw.
Yeah.
But they would just sort of just panic, and then the next goal would go in. It's like, oh shit, now we're definitely going to get beat. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, guys, what are you doing? But yeah, no, it was a good win. It was a good victory. Great way to start the season. 3 points. Points is always fantastic. Against Perth, as I said, is even better.
And I'll finish with my quote that I nearly typed into our chat at the 91-minute mark.
Yeah.
Jets 1-1 against Perth.
Yeah.
Down to 10 men with 4 minutes to go. Miracles don't exist for the Jets. And sure as shit, less than a minute later, I was proved wrong right before I was about to hit send. And I'm like, let's maybe delete that now. Because Becca proved me wrong.
Yeah. No.
The other time was when Nicky Carl scored his goal.
Yeah.
That was a similar, obviously not, but similar circumstances. I think there was only about a couple minutes to go in that game as well, from memory.
Yeah.
Wiggle, wiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Nicky
Yep.
Carl, there has not been a 10 since. He was just world class. He was
Nicky
so
was
good.
I love Nicky. He's a great player.
Yeah, so good. I was going to say before we wrap on that, I was going to say something. Oh, quick one for Brendan O'Neill. Again, I said from the start when we signed him, he's going to have a cracking season or he's going to have a shit show, which is what he did last year. He had a bit of a shit show.
Yeah,
he had a fair bit going on, no questions about that. He'd lost his father.
Yeah.
Which is the main reason why he moved back to Australia, and he had his young baby and so forth, and he had a fair bit on his plate. But he's moved. He's hit the ground running. He's raring to go. He looks so good. And
Somebody I've been eyeing off for the Jets since while he was at Sydney.
And just one of the most underrated players in the league.
Very much so. Well, I said to you for years while he was at Sydney, how is this bloke not going to move overseas yet? He's a shadow.
Yeah. No, good to see. On that note, as I said, Mika was good as well, and hopefully he can continue.
B1 and B2. I don't think B2 had a bad game either. Finding his feet.
But yeah, other than that, before we go off that, the only other thing I can say in regards let's Perth. If you're a Perth fan, what the hell have you done with Amini? God, he was a grub. Did you see the way he was carrying on in the game?
I've never seen Amini play like that before.
Mate, he was just, I don't know, he was just...
He reminded me of a Chihuahua. He was just there biting ankles all game.
He's just gone from this quiet, kid who could definitely play football, and he was into everything.
He was an ass.
The argument. He's the captain, I suppose, if it's his job, but he was just, wow. I was like, that's not Amini that I know. Did you play with Amini at the coast? No, he wasn't there.
He was well and truly gone by time. Yeah, I was there, but
yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, friggin' he just wouldn't shut up. He kept going and going. And it's like, this is not a meanie that I know. Where's the quiet
Got a yellow for dissent.
quiet kid who just sort of sits back and just rips in,
Does
and,
his job.
lets his feet and his skill do the talking. But he was just a pain in the ass, honestly. But anyway, whatever. Other than that, we move on round. Should I think I say round 2 then? Round 3. Against Wellington on the weekend. RAF round, Benny. Apparently, 2 days to go before the game, but
Doesn't give him long to get a new kit out.
well, they're not going to get a new kit out, mate. There's no kit. No kit.
Don't spoil my fun.
From what I've seen, no kit will be at this one. Who knows? There might be one later in the year. We're only at round 3, so they might do another one later in the year and get the kit out. But
Not a rough one though.
But again, it's something close to the Jets. Obviously, it's something that's been part of our club since day one. We always do plenty of stuff with the RAF. As Ben would know, I'm sure he's done plenty of shit. Have you been one of the lucky ones to be going one of the Jets yet?
No, I haven't been in one.
There you go.
I'm not sure if not sure how that would go.
Not a
But
problem.
we've always done some stuff up there. We've had a few days up there, which is
Yeah.
always interesting and fun. So yeah, it's obviously the RAF is obviously a part of Newcastle, and they've always done stuff with the Jets and vice versa. So yeah, it's usually a big day, really.
Yeah, another big day. I'm sure they'll have the flyover, which is what they usually do. Blink and you miss it. You hear it about 5 minutes later, but blink and you miss it. But yeah, no, again, it's something it's good. It hasn't been around for the last couple of seasons, obviously through COVID and so forth. So it's good to see a little bit of normal coming back, minus the shirts, Ben, unfortunately. But maybe next year. Starting baby steps, mate. Baby steps. But again, Wellington, they played all right on the weekend. They didn't, they played decent football, which is good to see. It's good to see for them. It's good to see them play back home. It's good to see Wellington playing back at home, and obviously the fans over there getting a glimpse of some football, which they've obviously been starved of in the last couple of seasons, playing plenty of their football out this way.
Return of Stevie.
Stevie, man, he's a freak. He's just so
Return
good.
of Stevie.
Some of the comments, it was just like listening to some of the Jets fans from old. Honestly, it was just, oh, friggin', you didn't do anything. You didn't do much. I'm like, are you mental? Are you mental?
He's one of those players, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. If you don't see him and you don't think
He's doing his job properly. If you don't see
he's done
him.
everything. Yeah. He's just a freak. He's just everywhere.
I will be watching him this weekend like a hawk because he will dictate the play.
Oh yeah.
For the next, he will dictate the game.
He controls absolutely everything. He looks so good on the weekend, and as I said, just Jesus Christ, I'd love to just go to Wellington and just go, guys, can we get a copy of the stats on his little doobie, on his little vest or whatever you guys freaking wear to get all the data and shit?
Yeah.
Because,
his running stats, yeah, he's nuts.
Can we just get a copy of it to freaking show some of the fans of actually how much work this bloke does? Like, holy shit, he does not stop. He's everywhere.
He never really hit it. He never really hit it with Western Sydney. Not like he did at the Jets.
Yeah, too many big names around him as well, I think. Like too many.
There was lots of problems going on down there as well, from what can kind of look at from the outside. It always makes it difficult to kind of play well, and when you got whatever else going on the outside, which seems to be the theme of the Wanderers for the last few years.
I think Stevie was very much in that situation of after his first couple of weeks at Western Sydney, you don't know what you've got until you've lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny too, because we spoke to him probably
6 to 8 weeks before he left.
And he was open. He was really good with us. He was very open.
He was open.
Not wanting to be part of a rebuild. He didn't. He wanted to be part of something that has already been established, and like
more of an icing on the cake sort of thing.
Yeah, you look at their facilities and everything else. It's all there. It's fantastic. It's you Butte and you. Happy days, but again, it's not everything. You don't get all. You get the new facilities, but you don't get everything else. I suppose.
It's not all sunshine and roses.
Exactly right, and I sort of, to myself, thinking, if we spoke to him now, and he was honest, and was able
Very different outlook.
and he was able to talk freely, I think he would have a very different sort of conversation going, yeah, okay, maybe I might retract a few of the things I said. But
yes, Elliot, but all the ones to miss out on.
What?
He's like, to be honest, he had been through like 7 rebuilds with New England. I'm like, yeah, but the one to miss out on.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be at this one. I'm going away, so I'll be out. So if anyone needs any tickets, let me know. I've got 4 to give you. What was I going to
It's alright.
say?
The mod posted something on Twitter, on Facebook earlier today,
Mm.
about who's going to the game against the Knicks for the RAF round, and I'm just like, hey, look, if you want to pay for my flight from Melbourne, yeah, sure, I'll be there with bells on.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen, mate. They're struggling to pay their players and play their frigging facilities and everything else at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Mate, you're close to Western United and City, mate. Friggin' they got their toes in the club. Hit them up. I know the Western United frigging CEO friggin' likes to come up to a few games. I seen him when I got invited by Laurie.
Yeah.
Into the friggin' the fancy box, see where all the CEOs and all the shit up. He was up for that and everything else, and great bloke, easy to talk to and shit. So yeah, hit him up, mate.
We've got a little thing for Western though.
Yeah, he's a good bloke. Yeah. Other than that, that's pretty much what it is. So be sure to get there if you aren't going away like myself. There was 7,000 fans, which I'm not going to sit here and brag, but called it. It's on Facebook. If anyone doesn't believe
You did.
Someone said how many fans? I said 7,000. There was 7,000.
Not a bad turnout though.
40 something. Yeah, that was good though. It was good. It was a good day. So hopefully 7,000 last week for a victory. We know that. I'm sure Ben knows very well being a player and looking out for the fans. If we're winning, bums are on seats. If we're not, it's a struggle street, and it's sad for the players. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whether we're winning or not, we want the fans there. The fans have to be there, regardless. If Melbourne Victory aren't winning every week, their fans still turn out. I'm sorry,
yeah,
they do.
They do,
and it's so good. It's so good to see them still singing and chanting and carrying on, even when they're getting flogged or they're having a shit season, which they had last couple of seasons. So, just get to the games. Get to the games. It's cost bugger all these days for a frigging membership, especially when you can pay it over 10 months. It's like $20 a month or shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, be sure to get to the game if you can. I think, as I said, there's a few bits and bobs going on with the RAF round and games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you're military personnel, you go for nothing. So you bring the whole family for nothing.
Good.
You might have to show some sort of card or something that you work for the military, but be sure to get in there, take the family, and get into that shit. Welcome Lucas back. Now, obviously, Lucas out on
Lucas Maragas.
Lucas is out on loan at Wellington. Played well on the weekend as well. So yeah, even though playing for Wellington this year, he's still a Jet. So be sure to get behind him, and hopefully he has a cracking game as well. And then yeah, we'll dissect the outcome of that obviously next week as well, mate. Yeah, we'll get back to you a little bit, Benny.
Yep.
Obviously a few little questions there that obviously I'm intrigued to find out yourself, and apologies in advance. I'm just asking the simple questions. I know some of these questions might hurt a little bit.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Might be a little bit raw still.
Nah, I'm all good. Ask away.
We'll start off really early, mate. We'll start off really early.
Yep.
Del Piero gets signed
Yeah.
to the A-League.
Yep.
First thoughts.
Massive, really. What a player. Yeah, what a player he was, and I think at the same time you got Big Emil come in as well, and also Shinji. And those three were ridiculous players, really, and we were lucky to have Emil here in Newcastle, and obviously. He might not get the raps that Del Piero gets, which is probably fair, being Del Piero as the player he is. But no, I think all three of them had a massive impact on the league, really.
Yeah. Even Bridgie was in there at that time as well, I believe as well. So two English guys at the Jets.
Yep.
And Del Piero's just
yeah.
What a
Yeah.
freak. He's just so good on the ball, and
Yeah.
even obviously not many people knew about Shinji Ono.
Shinji Ono, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
He was
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
Such a good player. Such quality on the ball as well. But again, nothing compared to Del Piero, mate. But
Yeah.
again, I have to ask.
Yep.
Did you see the ball? He steps up for the free kick.
Yeah.
It's his first goal in the A League. Welcome to the A League. And
Yeah. Look.
that free kick, absolutely
Went like a tracer bullet.
mate.
Yeah. It's obviously a great free kick, but yeah, obviously happy to be part of history, I guess, letting in the first goal. But funny story about that, I was actually due for surgery that week, and I had to postpone it because Beerers got sent off the week before. So I actually wasn't even supposed to play. I was booked in for surgery on my knee and had to be postponed a week. So, yeah, obviously, don't think I would have saved it anyway. To be honest, it was a great free kick. But nah, that game in general was just I think there was 20-odd, 30-odd thousand just at that game, and yeah, I think from memory we actually ended up winning that one 3-2.
We did.
Yeah, I think Craigie scored. Maybe Ryan Griffo scored.
Yeah,
And
he scored the winner, I think.
yeah, I think that's the case. So no, that was obviously a great game to be a part of. Really, just the whole thing with, I think that was Del Piero's, I think maybe first home game.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So
Yeah.
it was just a great experience, really.
Yeah, no, I was sort of when we sort of locked you in, I was sort of just going through, and it popped up, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh, what a far out, poor bugger."
Yeah.
To be fair, Birra got the red the week before because he knew it was coming.
He did, yeah. Against Adelaide.
He didn't want. He knew.
And that's literally what I was about to say to him as well. I said, "Did you walk off and just go straight to past Beerers and go, you're welcome?"
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, like I said, part of history now, so I can't complain too much.
True.
They're always going to remember me, so I'll take that.
I suppose it was one of those free kicks. You sort of stand there, you look at it, and go, "Yeah, all right, fair play."
Yeah, pretty much. Like, obviously, someone like that, and I'm definitely not the first one he scored against, and there's been a lot better goalkeepers than me that have conceded free kick against him. So yeah, like I said, part of history. So I'll take it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was a good free kick, and what do? You move on to the next one.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah,
That's
pretty
it,
much.
That's it. Well, good luck. If you hadn't chopped him down, it wouldn't have happened.
That's right. That's right.
You picked up Player of the Year at both clubs, which is massive.
Yeah.
As well. You weren't at the Coast for that long,
Yep.
but picked up Player of the Year at the Jets and obviously at the Central Coast. So big honours.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not sure if anyone else has done it. To be honest, maybe Beers might have actually. I think he might be the other one that may have done it. I'm not sure, but obviously picking up Player of the Year at any club is pretty special, and to do so at Newcastle, being your hometown club, is kind of something you dream of as a kid. You never really think you'll get to that stage, but obviously, massive honour to have done that, and then down at Central Coast, I managed to do that as well, and again, just another honour, really. I guess that, I guess probably early years of the A League, I never really thought I'd be winning a Player of the Year at Central Coast, so never really thought I'd be playing for Central Coast, to be honest. But just I guess just honoured is the word to use there.
Yeah. I was just thinking about players and so forth. Surely Liam Reddy has won it at multiple clubs. He's been everywhere.
He can't not have.
Not sure. I don't know. I know he didn't win the Player of the Year at the Jets, and I don't think he won one down at Central Coast. But I'm not sure if he's actually won any. To be honest, I'm not sure. I'm probably sounds horrible, but actually, to be honest, I also don't really know other clubs who's won it and whatnot, and never really paid attention, to be honest. But
he must have won one. He must have won one at Perth. He's been there a while.
You would think so.
Yeah,
he has had a few good years. Yeah, he's had a few good years there. So, you think he would have somewhere.
I figure that's why he hasn't left yet. He left all the others because he hadn't won anything. Player of the year. So I'll move on. Keep searching for me player of the year. One
Yeah.
at a Perth.
Yeah.
One at a Perth. Looks like I've got the setup stumps here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure he might have over there. I think he's had, like I said, he's had a few good years there. So, yeah.
Other questions we've got in the chat. I think Aiden just put one in there. First thoughts. First game against the Jets. Putting on a Central Coast Mariners shirt. What was it? What was? How did it feel? I'm sure it felt different.
It was, to be honest, that whole no, pretty much, yeah, I know, a strange feeling. Obviously being Newcastle boy and growing up, and I never actually ever thought or even considered playing for the Mariners, to be honest. But yeah, the whole situation was strange. Yeah, it was the first game actually played. I was on the bench. I was still coming back from my injury. So I didn't actually play in that first one where Roy scored a hat trick. But yeah, the first game I ended up playing was actually up here in Newcastle. I think it ended up maybe being 2-0. I think Rosie might have got sent off. From memory for Central Coast. Yeah, it was just, especially being the first game against Newcastle, being up here was very strange, and it's probably the only thing I can really say about it. It was just something I never really thought. So
as a professional, it's one of, I suppose you just don't even think about it. You know what I mean? Like,
it was.
You don't really. Again, I'm not a professional athlete, but sort of gather that you don't really look at what shirt you've got on and what shirt they've got on. It's
just
I'm standing between the goals, and that's
it. It's kind of once you're playing, it's definitely that's how it is. You don't really think about it, but yeah, I still remember that first time I ended up. I just drove to the game because I was still living in Newcastle. So I didn't have to catch the bus up or anything, and I was kind of like, I'm driving here playing for the opposition, and first time I'd ever actually gone, to obviously the other end and that sort of things, which is different. But once obviously you kind of get in that game mode, then you don't really think about it too much. But
I mean,
definitely.
I suppose you sort of walk in and then you go to walk down the hallway and you stop halfway down there and go, oh shit, I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah,
your brain's just wired that way.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's just a bit of a strange moment, really. And once the game obviously starts, and that you don't think about it. But beforehand it was strange, and it's just something I never really thought I would be doing, to be honest.
To be fair though, let's premise this by saying BK's probably one of the only players that I've ever seen that's ever crossed the divide. And not one fan on social media has had a bad word to say about it.
Yep.
Not one.
It was interesting because we went down there and we gave Simon so much shit. I remember it. Like we gave
and Hawley.
Oh, mate, like we gave them so much shit, and every time BK touched the ball, you could hear a pin drop. There was just nothing. And it was,
we would stop saying or doing or chanting anything.
Yeah, and again, it was just one of those ones where I just think the fans realised and knew that it had nothing to do with bad blood or whatever between the Jets and moving to the coast or anything like that. It was just pure football and
just circumstances really.
Contract comes a knocking, and if there's not one at one end and there's one at the other end, it doesn't matter sort of who's.
I think the phrase that I used back then, and Josh will be able to quote me on this, was I, as a Jet supporter, don't mind. At the end of the day, he's spent a lot of his career as a second choice at the Jets. If an opportunity for him to comes up that he can get first team football, he shouldn't be knocking it back. Doesn't matter if it's the coast or not.
Yeah, there was a few things, and that was obviously one of the decisions. The Jets had when Mark Jones was still there, and when it was unfortunate timing with my Achilles, and I did it the week before the season started, the year before, and that the whole season was a write-off, and we kind of throughout that year talked about a new contract and whatnot, and we kind of had a bit of framework, I guess, on a new contract. And then kind of the longer the season got on, kind of talks, I guess, went on hold, and I actually ended up having a good chat with Mark Jones, who was coaching at the time, and originally it was going to be a 2-year deal and all this sort of stuff, and they ended up offering a 1-year deal, and I spoke to Jonesy, and Jonesy had pretty much told me I wasn't going to play at all
I
the following year.
Mm.
I
So,
did hear
and
that. I
yeah,
did hear there was a bit of riff and a bit of issues.
yeah, so yeah, as a player, you're kind of like, well, I know I was injured, and I was pretty much was nearly right for the start of the following season. So,
Yeah.
I guess as a player, and to be told you're not really going to have a chance to play at all, didn't matter how well I did in training or anything. I was kind of like, well, why do I really want to be there? And
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, to be
You
honest,
sort of sit there and go, "What's the point then?"
yeah, effectively, and yeah, it's kind of, I guess, just then Central Coast kind of came and come about. Obviously, Matt Nash is obviously he's played at Newcastle. And he's a keeper coach, and
Yeah.
I'm very good friends with Nash. And he just rang me one day. It's kind of like, "What are you doing? And what are you doing next year?" And yeah, that's kind of how that came about. And
yeah,
yeah, wouldn't say I was annoyed at the club or and that, but definitely when Jonesy kind of said that and said I wasn't going to play, I was kind of like, well, kind of made that decision a little easier. And to be honest, I was even contemplating not playing at all. To be honest, even with the injury, kind of, um, I guess that injury was really tough to get back from, and I kind of thought to myself, well, I want to come back and play just to prove that I can get back from it.
Yeah.
If I hadn't got injured, I might have retired earlier. Who knows? But yeah, come back from that injury, I wanted to prove that I could still do it at that level. And
yeah,
yeah, I guess the extra year that Central Coast had offered 2 years, and I thought, well, they really wanted me, so I guess yeah, something different, even though it was down there. And
Well,
yeah,
gee,
yeah,
still get to drive to and from work every day, mate. Friggin',
Mm.
you're not packing up a life and
yeah. Well, that's it. It
sort of
was obviously still that side of things was made it a lot easier, I guess. And yeah, I was just driving there. I was only 45 minutes down to training and that, which is pretty easy drive, to be honest. It was nearly taking me that because I live at East Maitland. It was nearly taking me that to get into uni some days with the
Mm.
traffic. So
yep, straight down the freeway and
yeah,
across,
that side of
mate.
things was all right. And my partner's she was a professional netball at the time, and she was living
Yeah,
away, so I didn't really have to get up and move or anything. So it kind of
Yeah.
made things a lot easier.
no, that's exactly it, mate. Well, that's it. You've got to do what you got to do to try.
Yeah,
I suppose at that point as well, as you said, you come back from a 12-month layoff. It's sort of rejuvenating your whole career. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, it
you're
did.
talking you're talking about a possible retiring early and it sort of gives you that opportunity to sort of go, let's see how I go. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it gives you the right motivation.
It's
Yeah,
been
for
2
sure. It
years.
was definitely something that, yeah, wanted to come back and just more so prove to myself that I could still come back from an injury. And that that time off was a lot of hard work, a
Yeah,
lot of early mornings, a lot of hard work. And I kind of would have thought, well, don't really want to do it all for nothing. So yeah,
yeah, yeah. Last thing on the coast before we divert back our
yep,
way to our way. Don't want to talk about it too much.
yep,
Um, Ben and I were sitting there a
Oh,
couple of years back.
I was waiting for this.
yep.
Had to come up. Like, come
Oh
on.
yeah, I think I know where this is going.
I specifically flew up for this game, and it's one of the greatest games that I'm glad I did.
Definitely one of the best games against the coast. The best away days at the coast I've ever had.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was. Yeah,
You talk about again, but again, we talk about chanting and giving the Central Coast so much shit. Again, it was still no different at 8-2 at the end of the game. It was still no different for BK. Like we still just didn't really give him shit. Well, not that I can
Well,
friggin'
to
remember.
be
Anyway.
fair, we
One of the
started
guys around me anyway.
that game. We were making the joke that BK's just there as an undercover agent for the Jets.
Yeah,
He was letting him in. He was letting him in for us.
I did hear that quite a few times.
yeah. And
No,
I
that
do remember
that game was that was just one of those games where I think every shot went in.
Yeah.
I think it was the last game of the year before, from memory, and
Mm.
the coast at the
The
time.
coast lost their head.
That Ocon had just been sacked about 3 weeks before it, I think.
Mhm.
It wasn't players didn't want to be there, and it was
Yeah.
wasn't great, and yeah, that kind of game was just everything that the Jets did right, just every shot was a goal, and everything they did just it's one of those games really.
Yeah, it was, and it was a game for us. It was great to watch, and it was good to see. But at the same time, you sort of, even all the fans, were sort of sitting there going, "It's not right.
Yeah,
Something's going on." Like, okay,
yeah, it
in the
was
especially in the A League, when you're getting pumped like that, and
That's
let's
right,
be honest,
Lukey. That's right.
well,
Because Wellington had won, and we bought all those wooden spoons because we handed them the
that's right,
spoon in that game.
yeah, that's right. I remember that, because there was a lot of talk about we had to draw or win to
yeah,
kind of thing. But you just kind of feel before the game that it's, obviously you've been
Something
around a long
felt off.
time, and in the change rooms you kind of get a
Yeah.
feel for these types of things, and you just kind of knew it's like, oh well, this is going to be one of those games. I'm pretty sure, buddy. It was either I think Jets scored in like first 5 minutes, and that was it really.
Yep.
And that was it, and just one of those games you just couldn't come back from, and like I said, everything the Jets kind of did just turned to a goal, really.
It was funny because I spoke to was talking to a mate. Ben was there, but I was talking to another mate there who me and him done Adelaide away when the Jets got pumped 7-0.
Oh,
And
yep, I was in that
and
game too.
yeah,
There's a
you
funny
were.
story behind that.
Yeah, mate.
A very funny story.
We're sitting there, and I can't remember what it was at halftime, but I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, this is literally like watching the Jets.
Yep.
In Adelaide a couple of years ago. Just I don't know. It was just all sorts of shit, and
that game. I don't like to throw people under the bus, but I remember that game. Right, we that was around the time we had 3 weeks off for the Asian Cup, and that was our first game back. And so Phil Stubbins was coach, and that whole 3 weeks we literally didn't do a single tactical anything on Adelaide in that 3 weeks. So we turned up to the game and we had no idea.
wow.
Yeah, it was
Talk about
it was fun as this, and then I think that whole game was a bit some of the stories, the players, and just I still remember that day, and like a lot of time for Phil, but that 3 weeks leading up to the Adelaide game, we didn't do a single video session or tactical session on Adelaide at all, and
Jeez,
kind of showed really.
Hey,
Talk
flying
about
blind.
Talk about a one-eyed friggin' Adelaide friggin' friggin' bloke, friggin' born and bred in Adelaide and lives there, does everything for it. No wonder.
No, it was a strange few weeks, and
it was hard to watch.
it was
As a fan,
that was when Hooley and Dave Carney were trying to argue over who played in the shade and that sort of stuff. So Madashi walked off to the wrong bench when he got subbed, and
that's right. Yeah,
it was comedy. That game.
Comedy of errors.
Yeah, that game was, but
mate, it was hard to watch. There's only a few fans up there, but holy shit, it was just
it was just Then when I'm pretty sure that's when I think I actually saved a penalty and they had to retake it, and
you do.
just I was
You
like
did. That was the only excitement of
and
football,
so I wasn't too happy with that, and they'd actually scored a few good goals that day as well, though, to be fair to them. But it's just one of those another game where things just didn't happen.
That was different. It was a hard game to watch, that one. The game the Jets unfortunately have had plenty of those.
Had a couple of them, yes.
Yes, a couple.
Had some great ones though. 3-2 against City and City.
3-2.
That was a good one. Yeah.
It was my first ever Jets game.
Yeah, no, that was a good game. That was
it was a great one.
Scotty Miller,
Yeah.
Yeah, Scotty Miller. Yeah, before he again freaking got sacked for when he probably shouldn't have. But anyway,
Him and Luca were going nuts.
I was going to say there's a story in China behind that. So
yeah.
But
we've heard it.
I don't think it was right, but that's. I guess that's the people above's decision at the end of the day, but
exactly right, man. Exactly right. So
we couldn't believe it, but that's I guess it is what it is at the time. Couldn't really do anything about it as a player.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, no, we've heard that a couple of times, not unfortunately, but fortunately for Miller, because again, he's done nothing since. You know what I mean? Like he's got his academy down in Melbourne. I'm sure it's still fantastic.
He was managing one of the NPL sides out here.
He's in Melbourne. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's
I
doing something with NPL clubs. Yeah, down that way.
Seaford.
Maybe like
He's out Frankston way.
yeah, I think it's maybe like second or third division side,
Mm.
something like that. Maybe yeah.
yeah. But, he was at where was it? He was at Maribyrnong, I think it was before with Mitchy Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Before he went to Hume City.
Yeah.
And he was there at the same time as that. But yeah, I think he's moved on from that. Now I think you're right, but I think he's down to the second or third tier now.
Mm.
There's a technical director or some shit.
Yeah, he's out Frankston way something.
But yeah, before we let you go, mate, it's
Yep.
just obviously it's pretty much struck bang on the hour. We do thank you for your time
Oh,
jumping
no,
on
all
and
good.
talking a bit of football and talking a bit of history and everything else like that.
Yeah.
Just a couple of quick ones,
Yeah,
obviously.
go for it.
What's doing these days, mate, in the off season? I do believe I heard. Don't
Yeah.
quote me. I heard bit of goalkeeping academy, looking at that side of things. Is that still happening?
I did kind of start to when I stopped playing. But with work, it's kind of, and obviously still playing at Lambton, that still takes up a fair bit of time. So I ended up just doing pretty much a goalkeeper coach for all the Lambton keepers. So that kind of takes up my fair bit of my time and plus my own training and we work in that. So that's kind of just where that's all at the moment. So yeah.
That's definitely something to, we've been lucky enough to speak to a couple of keepers, and even in the women's game, obviously we speak to Claire a little bit at the Jets, and even as a player myself, like it's just something we don't really see a lot of, and I think unless you sort of get to that professional level, it's probably not enough of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the amount of stories we're hearing of goalkeepers not coming of age until they're in their late teens.
Yeah, for sure.
Just purely because they're playing an MPL or they're playing what do they call it now? What's it called now? Freaking JDL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're in that sort of setup with the clubs and everything else, 13, 14-year-olds. And I don't know, we need a keeper this week. And then they step in and go, oh, shit, he might be all right, actually. And then something, you know what I mean? Like it's, maybe try this full time, mate. But for me, I don't know about yourself. I'm sure you see it, playing at Lambton and everything else. It's just not really a great deal for the youngsters to sort of get that keeper from that young age.
Yeah. I think it's the one position, and I actually speak to Nashi a fair bit about that. He's down at Sydney now, and goalkeepers at one position. There's just none around, or not many around, as what they used to be. And I think a lot of that has to do with kind of coming through and maybe the coaching and how the kind of the JDLs maybe set up and all that now. But it's definitely not as many good keepers coming through. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm not going to get you. I'm not going to get you on the JDL side of things here, mate.
Oh yeah.
I'm just honestly, my cousin plays JDL for Adamstown, and it's just, I don't know. I think it's just one of the biggest shit shows going around. Like, I don't know. The amount of people I've just sat there, like I go and watch him every week, and sitting there with mates and everything else, and we're like, I swear, don't quote me again, but I swear when I was 10, I was playing full pitch.
Yeah.
No, none of this freaking half pitch shit, and it's just.
We were down here. We were down here at that age in Melbourne.
Offsides were happening and everything.
I'm pretty
else.
sure, 10, 11 was around that age from memory. So
Yeah.
I that whole, not even so much JDL, but even the fact that they don't keep score anymore and all that. I don't. Don't get me started on that. It's
no, I know.
I don't. Yeah.
Oh, mate, I can talk to you for an hour.
Stupid.
Just
I agree.
The whole club side of things.
Are they allowed to head of the ball?
Oh, mate, honestly, it's a don't even go there.
Because that'll be the next one.
Yeah, no,
I think it's been talked about. Yeah,
it already has. It's freaking absolute craziness, mate.
It's
it's I don't know. I mean, it's I played for Adamstown since I was 5.
Yeah,
I mean, like, and I played juniors all through there, and I played state league and stuff like that there before, and a few other clubs. And just going back there now, there's no junior system.
Yeah.
There's no under 6s, 7s, 8s, or whatever in a normal concept.
Yeah.
There's no all age. And it's I could get a group of my mates, no problem at all, and just go, let's go play for the Buds. They're one of the
Yeah.
longest serving clubs, and
Yeah.
la la la. You know, and again, I've played them my whole life. I've got a soft spot
Yeah.
for them, but it's not even a thing anymore. You can't even play for the Buds like that anymore.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
You
I
know
know
what I mean?
Lambton's obviously because we're not affiliated with the junior club at all, so yeah,
No.
we don't really have any sort of.
And that's
We-
the problem. And
yeah.
it's a problem everywhere. But like
Yeah,
when I was playing, you know, state league and stuff like that, if you didn't have a great junior setup, you didn't have a great
Yeah.
senior setup because the juniors were paying the seniors.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know
no,
what I mean?
for sure.
If you had 30 junior sides playing at Adamstown, your seniors were top notch. That's
Yeah.
how teams won because they could afford to bring in quality players.
Yeah.
Because money would just talk, and they had the money because we were paying X amount of dollars through the juniors, and everyone wanted to play at Adamstown because that's just who they were back in the day. You know what I mean? It's no different to Hamilton Olympic. It was no different to Broadmeadow. It was no different to all these sort of clubs. And nowadays, it's just sort of, as you said, there is no affiliation. You have junior presentation day, and it's completely separate.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
your seniors, and that's right up to 18s as well. That's not even, you know, like, no. It's
yeah.
it's a completely
Seems
different
a bit-
podcast.
Seems a
Yeah.
bit odd.
Yeah, it is. It's a completely different podcast.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say before I let you go? I think Lukey
Yep.
just put in there as a Lambton tragic.
Yep.
Most annoying teammate at Lambton.
Oh, that's a good one. Most annoying teammate.
I hope you say go.
Let's try to think. Vez is Nathan Verity is a bit annoying because he always likes to talk. But no, Vez is alright. Let's just trying to think. There's no one overly actually annoying, to be honest, which is probably weird to say.
Oh, there you go. That's why I won the grand
Yeah,
final, guys.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Oh, there's actually no one really, no one actually really annoying, which is yeah, surprise really.
Only throwing coaches under the bus today, guys.
There was no coach showing under a bus.
No.
No, that was. I think the players were just as surprised as everyone else with what happened there. So.
Yeah. Oh no, I was talking about friggin' Theo from Adelaide.
I thought you were talking about our coach at Lent. I was like,
oh no, that's sacking. That's another complete different.
Yeah, that is.
We won't go to that one. That was
that was nuts.
Yeah,
absolutely bizarre and chaos.
Yeah, like I said, we were a bit surprised like everyone else, but yeah, they had their reasoning, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, as I said, yeah, I found it the other week. My cousin actually plays with you at Lambton. And
who's that?
Benny Hay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Like
Benny Hay.
Benny. Yeah, there you go. Small world.
Yeah. See, taught him everything I know. No.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was yeah. Well, you could probably tell, yeah, it was a bit strange, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was just sort of all systems go. Mum's 60th the other week, and obviously his mum and that were out celebrating that. And I think he was at work. His brother and all that were there, and we just got talking about friggin' all the shit that it's gone down, and
it was just weird.
End of season drinks and friggin' players rocking up, and friggin' other teams players rocking up, and whinging judiciaries, and mate, it's
look, it's been
how good's football?
Yeah, that's right. I guess it's all part and parcel of the local game, I guess, or part of it, all the fun of it. So
that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. No, mate. Well, we're going to leave it there for you, mate. We do honestly thank you for jumping on, having a bit of a band, a bit of a chat, and everything else in regards to football. As I said, congratulations on the season that was. I think you made the team of the year as well on the bench.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
So that. So modest. Didn't even have a look. Didn't even get a. Just...
Player of the year at the Coast. Player of the year at the Jets. Team of the season on the bench for Lambton. Loving it.
Yeah, I did get player of the year on the weekend too for Lambton, so I'll add that.
He's got the hattie. He's got the hattie.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. It's yeah, I actually didn't. I was supposed to go to the Northern Award nights, but I couldn't make it. So, it was just, guess one of those things. It kind of, it makes the year a bit worthwhile. So yeah, it was good.
I think we had the same conversation with Joshy Rose when we had him on. He was in team of the year or whatever it was, and we sort of said something to him, and he goes, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just,
Rosie's good. I love Rosie.
Yeah.
I got on well with Rosie, and obviously we had the year together down at Central Coast. And
Yeah.
Rosie's a great guy. I think if he had played for Newcastle, a lot of people would have loved him. To be honest,
Mm.
it's probably
Yeah,
just
no.
the fact he played for Central Coast.
yeah, no, he was really good to chat to. He seems like a really nice bloke and
Yeah,
doing plenty of things at the junior level for
yeah, he's got his
Central
own
Coast
academy and
and-
that down there. So no, Rosie, like I said, Rosie's a great guy, and even up here, he's done wonders for the game up here as well with Edgy. So
Yeah, well, it's exactly right. There's plenty
yeah,
of good things going on there, mate. We'll we'll
Yep.
leave it there, mate. We'll
Yep.
might get you on again at some point and talk a bit
yeah,
of
sounds good.
I'd love to get your feedback on the second division and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
As an ex-player, and talk about obviously what it could mean, I suppose, for the A League, and
Yeah,
even I suppose players like yourself, maybe a few years ago, obviously, where you sort of fringe and everything else,
Yep.
but there was really no step down competitively to play at a decent level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You sort of go get dropped to I don't know what you call it now, the reserves or the under 20s of what we've got, and you play in the Sydney comp, but still, it's not.
Yeah, no, it's not,
You know
not
what
the
I mean?
same. Yeah,
It's not the same. That's it. You sort of go down there, and then you got to go back up again, and it's just the amount of people we've spoken to that have sort of done it. It's just like it's not a step. It's a plunge. It's a big plunge going from there to there, and then back up, trying to get back up to there to play.
Always at the
A
end,
League
Timmy
level.
Woods.
Timmy Woods always comes in at the end, all the way from the States, mate. So thanks heaps, mate. Anyway, we'll let you go. Take it easy,
all
buddy.
good.
And we'll speak soon. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Appreciate
buddy.
it.
Enjoy
Cheers,
your night.
guys.
No worries. Thanks again to Ben Kennedy there for jumping on and having a bit of a chat with us in regards to the season and that was obviously at Lambton and a bit of his career and so forth to date. Obviously got the word there that going around next year, captain of Lambton. So I don't think he'll be losing that armband too soon.
Yep.
And yeah, so no, he's good bloke, good banner, good a couple of good little stories there as well. It's good to see. What do we got here? Welcome again, Timmy, as I said. Welcome to everyone else. Sorry, guys, if I've missed anyone in the chat who's come in and said g'day and I've just blatantly ignored you. My apologies.
Aiden, I can sum that question up for you very quickly. Doesn't fucking matter, we won. Doesn't matter, we won. And Janino Bakuna's goal. What do they say? Fucking mint.
Are you proud? Are you proud? I didn't say anything about that. I had so many comments to send you and shit in regards to the
Oh nah, fucking
into the.
on a run at the minute. And you watched with our next game, that run's gonna fucking disappear very quickly because we've got a couple of hard games coming up. Is it safe now, Noopy? He's read his head for air. Fucking hell, love you, Noops.
Oh man, but yeah. So as we said, big shout out to BK for jumping on. It is muchly appreciated. Love it when we can sort of get past players, coaches, staff, whoever it may be, whether it's for the Jets, they've played for the Jets, or whether they haven't, they've played just in the A League or overseas, wherever we can sort of pluck them from to talk football. It's great. Love talking football with obviously the professionals. Just a completely different insight into football in general. So happy days for that. As we touched on, obviously through the episode, Jets 2-1 victory over Perth. Late winner there from Becca 1. So yeah, great finish. Who set up that friggin'
Soterio.
Soterio, yeah.
Yeah, he made me look like an idiot.
Yeah. he friggin' great ball movement though from Weir. Great ball movement. Friggin' straight out to out wide. It was great bit of play. Great bit of play.
So he ran that fast, he lost his shin pad.
How many times do you reckon between the top of the 18-yard box and about 25 yards out, do you think how many times it went through his head? Do I pass? Do I shoot? Do I pass? Do I shoot? Do I pass?
Who's Soterio?
Yes, Soterio.
Plenty.
Yeah, plenty of times I reckon he's like. Oh,
Well, the other one that would have been going through his head is, are they coming? Are they coming? Are they coming? I still don't see them. Are they coming? And then he saw the flash of gold and purple go past, and he's like, "Oh." And again, Peggy took a touch when he didn't have to.
Oh, I don't know. I think he needed the touch, especially because
I think at that stage he didn't need the touch. He wanted the touch. He wanted to make sure that thing hit the back of the net.
Yeah. Again, I think the touch was definitely needed. There was plenty of pepper on that ball.
Oh yeah,
coming through, and he knew before the ball even come to him. He knew where that ball was going, and it was going straight back across the keeper. So if he could take any heat off the ball to add precision, of where he wanted to go, he was going to do absolutely everything in his power to make sure.
Well, yeah. But for me, watching that highlight back, it's all great until it gets into Becker's feet. Once it hits Becker's feet, just watching the way he lines it up, it's almost like it happens in fucking slow motion. He slows it right down. His footwork is very slow. And it's like, and he just goes, bang. And it was, again, it wasn't so much he wanted to. It wasn't so much he needed to. It was more of a no. You could see the cogs turning. No, I want to make sure within a fucking shadow of a doubt that this thing rattles the back of the net.
Yeah. Elliot, I agree, and that's why he's over Duncan at the moment, because his footwork and his movement
and his distribution.
His movement.
His distribution is so quick.
But not even that. Not even how quick it is. Like we were sitting there live, obviously, and watching. Just some of the, it's not so much risks, but just the time that he took on the ball. There was no panic. It was, he's coming for the ball, but I'm not going to fucking worry about him. I'm just going to fuck him off out of my mind, and I'm going over here and looking at what my two teammates are doing. You know what I mean? Even though this bloke's freaking bearing down on him, not even a worry. Wasn't even looking at him. Wasn't even concerned about him. He's like, no, piss off. I'm not even looking at you. And his placement was fantastic. His patience was fantastic. For me,
it was tunnel vision, but it was good tunnel vision.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know. He had a great game, and for me, surprised he wasn't part of maybe, picked up a point.
Surprised he did.
Maybe picked up a point. Oh, he did.
He did.
Pick up a point.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't think he did.
No, he did.
Which is good. It's just good because he deserved it. He played well. What do we got? Perth trying to chip 6.5 keeper. Yeah.
No, Mickey's come on leaps and bounds.
Yeah, no, he's playing some good football at the moment, and
his distribution is fucking. He reminds me of Dale, but fucking 6'5".
Yeah, but not even that.
Grabs it and just goes, right, where is it? And like, he knows where the ball's going before he's even gotten it. Whereas Duncan was very much I need to get it. Now that I've got it, then he'd look up and go, oh, where's it going now? And he wouldn't be decisive. Mickey's decisive.
Yeah, Duncan's not a massive fan of playing with his feet. Like,
yeah,
he might take the touch out of his feet to hit the ball, but that's as close as placement and taking a touch as you're going to get.
Yeah, they're both very different breeds of keeper.
Yeah. But again, it comes down to age as well. Weir is a new age keeper, and 90% of new age keepers are that. They're sweeper keepers. They play out. They play they're more of a defender than they are, sitting in their 6-yard box, and that's where they'll stay for 90 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, Duncan's tried it over the years.
Ryan is a massive example for that. Ryan started out under Schwarzer thinking that that's the way I have to play.
Yeah.
And he changed his tactics and changed his style of play, and that's the reason why he's number one. That's why he has had no competition really challenging for his number one spot, is because his distribution from the back is freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just so good. And he came from somewhat of the older generation more than the new, and he's had to adapt to that because under Schwarzer, there was none of that shit.
Nah.
Schwarzer wasn't taking 6 or 7 touches in his box. There's no freaking way in hell.
Oh, no. Schwarzer was as old school and traditional as they came.
He'd be lucky to take a touch out of his feet, mate. No, not happening. It's just ball.
I think, who was it? Who was it? The prime example of where I noticed that shift occur in the footballing landscape was when City signed Claudio Bravo.
Yeah, Bravo
was an old school keeper, and that's when City started to mould, and that's where that change sort of happened. And they'd spent a boatload bringing in Claudio Bravo, who was a very expensive keeper, but he just couldn't do it. He couldn't play with his feet.
Yeah,
he just wasn't. He just wasn't built that way.
For me, I think one of the best players in the early days, sort of right at that transition, was fantastic to watch. Was probably Casalis. He changed the game for me in regards to that style of play. He's very good with his feet. He's very much a defender, more than he is a keeper. His vision, his placement, and again, that's half the reason why he would get caught out most of the time, is because he loved playing with his feet. He loved the ball at his feet. He didn't. I don't know. And he would get caught out purely because of that. He'd just fuck around with it too long, and then they take it off him, and he'd sort of get confused that he's a keeper, not a fucking defender. He should have hoofed it about fucking 10 seconds before he got tackled. But anyway, but yeah, Weir's looking good. A lot of the boys are looking good. I'm going to be very intrigued to see how German goes on the weekend off the bench. He looked good when he come on. Luckily for us, it's a good replacement. It's not like we're sort of looking at a 19-year-old kid.
Natter had a fucking flyer.
Natter looked really
Natter
good.
is solid.
Yeah, he looked good. I'm not going to say nothing yet. It's the first time I've seen him.
To be fair, I think the style that we're playing suits him. That system at the back really, really suits him.
Yeah. So yeah, no, as I said, the boys looked good. They looked solid. Completely, you can definitely see cogs have been turning in off season. Pappas has sat there in the off season, even without the boys there. He's been sitting at home and he's been doing his homework.
He's been doing this.
Definitely moving.
He's taken what didn't work last season and he's going, right, what can I do to spin this with what I've got?
Yeah, look, Natter looked good, but for me, I've seen so many freaking youngsters like that come through and just struggle, like play blinders and then struggle. Lockie Jackson, for mine, he'd have a blinder and then there's just games where he just was not there. He was just missing, and a lot of that came down to youth as well. There's been plenty. I mean, our defense has been like that. It's just they have a blinder straight up, and it's like, holy shit, it's gonna be a superstar. And then round 2 happens, and he goes missing for whatever reason. As I said, we need to see how he's going to go against the Melbourne City, a Sydney FC. A Melbourne victory this year is looking very good. Those sort of teams, because they're the teams that are going to cause him trouble. Perth didn't really do enough to challenge him, and is where the likes of McLaren, the likes of freaking
Nani
and stuff like that, mate. They're going to challenge you. They're going to do absolutely everything possible to throw you off, and they know you're new to the A League, and they will do absolutely everything to rattle you whilst they haven't even got the ball. So yeah, let's just see. He had a good game. He played really well, and hopefully it can continue. That's the biggest thing. Is what we need to see. Is we need to see consistency. It's something we haven't seen for a while, and fingers crossed this year, from what we've seen in round 1, for us, round 1.
Long may it continue.
Long may it continue. Yeah, the urgency to win the ball, the second tackle, the challenges were fantastic. The tackle, even the tackling was just spot on. The amount of times they won the ball without taking the man as well as the ball was just freaking awesome. Normally they just come straight in, the ball would go out, they take the bloke as well, and it just puts you in that 50-50 situation where the referee could blow his whistle. They somewhat eliminated that out of the whole game. It was fantastic. So, hopefully 3 points in Saturday. I'll be watching
As
while
will
I'm
I.
away. But yeah, game. Good to see. Good start, which is what we want. 3 points, Wellington, and then I think we play.
I don't have the fixture up.
I think it's Western Sydney, I think, on Friday, next Friday. So not this, so Saturday. And then I think we play Western Sydney in Sydney on Friday, which I'm going to get down to. Hopefully, when you get down to that one, I think it's a 7:30 kickoff. I think it is, but I figured why not?
Yeah, Nick's at 5 on Saturday. Then we're on the Friday night 7:45 against Western Sydney.
Yeah. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, good to see Western United struggling. Talking just a real quick off topic about other clubs. Western United struggling. A lot of people sitting there going, "Friggin' oh my god, whatever." They signed nobody. They didn't sign anybody. How can you expect them to just go up a gear?
Yeah, I think it was just very much more of the same. Thanks.
That's it. It's not to say that they're going to struggle. It's to say that this is what you get when you don't really sign any key players. It's a struggle. What's his name in defence for them? Man, he looked terrible. He was so bad. I can't remember
Which one.
The real tall, lanky
Leo Lacroix.
Yeah, I think that's who it was. He looked terrible. He was missing. He was all over the shop. He conceded the goal.
Considering he had a blinder last season.
Yeah, he just looked absolutely all over the shop.
On the plus side, though, Topper's going to get an extended run because it came out a couple of days ago to Mocky and Mize out for the majority of the season.
Yeah, so he done his shoulder in round one, which, shame because as I say, I don't mind him. He can play some good football. So
he plays good football, but he's not.
A lot of people don't like him.
I don't like him. I tend to. Some of the stuff that he does every time I do catch him do some certain things makes me think you're a little bit of a grub, but and that takes a lot for me to get to that point.
Yeah.
There's only two people in the A League currently that I have full on grub mode for, and that's Neil Kilkenny and Luke Bratton.
Yeah, as I said, it was quickly while we're running through this sort of stuff about games and everything else. Azani looking very good, very slick, very tidy.
He's stating his case for the World Cup.
He's it's funny, you know what I mean? Like you're seeing glimpses of what everyone's seen
when he was at City.
You know, like what got him overseas. You see,
yeah,
and you're seeing that regardless of how much football he's played.
And you know what that shows me?
What?
He made the jump overseas way too early.
We
did discuss it back then.
Yeah, look, I think he possibly did.
Injury didn't help.
Let's take out the injury factor as well. Like if he hadn't got injured, things could be very different. He could be still playing at Celtic. We don't know. We won't know. But I think he would thrive under Ange Postecoglou. Like if he was still there and Ange was there, holy shit, he would. It would be interesting to see.
Even anywhere in Scotland, the Aussies are invading Scotland.
Yeah, they're looking very good over in Scotland. But again, for Australian football, it's good to see. It's good to see him back as that young kid who's hungry and wants to be everywhere, wants to win everything, and doesn't take any shit.
His game's matured a lot.
He's too good for the A League. And that's what I think was what the biggest thing for me is you take away the fact that he may have gone too early and stuff like that, but all the experience he has taken out of everywhere that he's been overseas shows in the first 2 games of the season that he has learned absolutely. He's been
a sponge.
He's taken on board absolutely everything that he's needed to. He's fucked everything off that he doesn't need, and he's listened to the right coaches, to the right players, to make him a player that is going to cause plenty of players wherever the hell, plenty of teams wherever he plays, massive headaches. And honestly, I would take, again, not because he plays for the Coast, everyone out there, but I would take him over Cummings. There's no question about it.
Avocado, welcome.
Avocado.
Yes, Fez, Min-Me, the mighty black and blue.
Avocado, welcome. Whoever loves avocado, I don't know who you are.
There's only one person that I know of that calls you Fez.
Well, there's a few. There's a few, and that's not Lockie, so unless he's changed his name. But welcome. Let me know who you are. But yeah, so I would take Azani over Cummings. If you were going to put Cummings on that plane to go to the World Cup, you've got to be looking at Azani. My personal opinion. I think Azani gives you
different
more
positions.
Yeah.
You'd be looking Azani or Lecky.
Lecky's going to the World Cup.
Or Economides.
Nah, so Economides hasn't been part of the fold for ages. He's
no, but that's where you'd be. That's where you'd be looking for your other one. For there.
Well, yeah. So, see, I don't think it comes down to position. I don't think. I strongly believe that Graham Arnold is looking at. I am taking X amount of players out of his European team is set. Like for me, everyone in Europe, he knows who he's picking out of that.
Yeah.
Other than injuries, he knows who's going on that plane who currently plays in Europe. End of story. Whether they're fullbacks, fullbacks, centre back.
It's the A-League. It's the local ones that he's looking.
It's the A-League, knowing that I have to. I guarantee you, it's been drilled in.
Of course,
you have to take players from the A-League. You cannot leave them out. How many players he's been instructed to take at a minimum, I don't know. But McLaren's going to be on that plane.
Of course, because we don't have any strikers.
Lecky's going to be on that plane. There's no question about that. Well, he'll be here for the World Cup. So Kuol will be on that plane. There's no question there for me. The biggest one will be Naboot.
Naboot won't.
But
Naboot won't go.
I don't think he'll make it. I don't think he'll make the cut. He's playing good football at the moment, but
I would take Goodwin over Naboot.
No, but Goodwin's come back from injuries. He's injured.
Even still, yeah, but we're still.
Yeah, they won't pick him. So
well, here's the other side of the coin. Do you take Cummings or do you take Fornaroli?
Well, if you're going to take those two, it's got to be Cummings. Fornaroli's done. He had his glimmer. He's done.
You've got what? Fornaroli, you've got Cummings, you've got Duke.
Yeah, but Duke plays in Europe, so he'll be on the plane.
No, he plays in Japan.
Oh, well, they play out of the eight.
Who was the other one? Who was the other one that friggin' I just had in my head?
You've also got what's his name over there. Friggin' you've got
who's the other one? Yeah, Tags. No, there was another one. He's Boyle.
Oh, Boyle will be there. Boyle's on the plane.
Yeah.
He's killing it in Scotland. He's like when you get flogged by Celtic and friggin' you're the only bloke to score for Hibs, you're on the plane. Ange would have been doing a bit of scouting for friggin'
Oh, of course he has been.
Cool. Yeah, and that's the thing. Kuhl and all that, they're all into that shit. They're over there friggin', looking at what they've got and shit like that.
Yeah, everything's getting fed back to Arnie.
Oh, 100%. But to Elliot, that dancing question back there where he's like, they play different positions. in regards to Azani and Cummings. It's not going to come down to that, because Azani can play number 9. He can play wing. He can play midfield if you really wanted to. Like, there's no question. I have no question and no doubt that Azani could play in that midfield. No worries. His skill factor and his decision making would be no issues. Ryan Grant would probably be talking about A-League players and on the plane. Ryan Grant would definitely have to be close.
Oh yeah.
Fuck it. Vukovic
fucking bat boy. Arnie's bat boy.
Yeah, well, Vukovic will probably be the third. Oh no, he won't be. He's retired. Langerak. So Langerak, Ryan, and
Redmayne.
Redmayne.
Again, another one of Arnold's bat boys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take Ryan Grant.
Oh, see, I don't know. He's good. He's good. And I think he excels more when he plays.
Well, who's our starting right back?
Question. What we got there? Who we got there?
Another one you're leaving out of the equation as well on the other side is Brad Smith.
No, picked. He won't get picked. He's done. If he didn't play in that shit, friggin' the last international games, he won't get picked.
We know Bajic is locked on at left back.
Yeah, Bajic is done there.
Who's on the right?
Bajic will be there. Souter will be there. Sainsbury will be there.
Degenek will be there.
Grant will be there. He's got to be there.
Well, your options on that side, because they're generally not international. Rizzo.
No.
Rizzo. You've got Ryan Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Outside Bolter. Frank Karasic.
Yeah.
Who else have we got? We don't have many right backs.
No, I know. There's
it's always been that position that we've never really replaced. Replaced it in the women's game. We've got heaps of good right backs in the women's game.
Who played there friggin' the other week against New Zealand? Can't remember.
Was it Karasic?
Yeah, I think Karasic had a couple of games there.
He's been called.
He might have been.
Atkinson.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Isn't he injured?
He's injured. Yeah.
He's injured. He's out.
Well, he was injured. I don't know if he's fully out, but he has been injured. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Strain. Yeah, nah.
Karasic right back. Yeah. It's so bad, isn't it? No one really there. Got to be Green. I'll have Ellie Carpenter back in the room.
I'm firmly in that camp with you, Elliot.
Oh, I don't know.
Love me a bit of Carpenter.
I don't know. Tesco's right back.
Yeah. Take Tess at right back.
Tesco's right back. It's good to see her freaking playing right back for the Jets.
Yeah.
Or down in the midfield if she gets up. If she can move.
I like that. I like that. Everyone's like, oh, how are we going to replace friggin' Kirsty Fenton? I'm sitting there going...
Good.
He's good.
But yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be an interesting one.
We need to wrap this. We're nearly at 2 hours.
Oh yeah, I'm going to don't. Yeah. So I'm just going to sort of do the outro and then just cut this shit.
No, it all goes in.
Yeah, fair enough. Nah, anyway, as I said, but yeah, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna wrap it there. I want to go to bed and watch the latest episode of NCIS because I didn't watch it.
Get out of my head!
I missed it last time.
Downloaded it before stream.
Gonna do that.
I'm gonna fly into City as well. Because I haven't been in like 3 days and I've got somebody's car impounded that I need to give back.
So anyway, we are going to wrap it there. Big shout out to BK for jumping on the episode. It was muchly appreciated. Big shout out to Gabriel, my optometrist at Jasmine, for our sponsors. Be sure to go see those guys down there for all your eye care needs. Next week's show. This is exclusive. I haven't even spoken to Benny about it yet.
I hate it when you do this to me.
It's a nice easy one. We are potentially, we've just got to confirm it. It is going to happen in the next couple of weeks, but we're trying to lock it in this week.
Well, you are. I don't know about it yet.
Yeah, true. We're going to have possibly at least one, possibly two, of the boys from Save the Humans on the show. We're gonna get the boys on. We're going to talk a bit about side note a little bit. We're going to talk about their upcoming gigs and so forth. We're going to try and look at doing a giveaway.
Fuck yeah.
Possibly look at 2 tickets to their gig in December 5th, I believe it is, at the Newey Hotel. Runs from like 2 p.m. till freaking God knows when. It's a big day, big lineup of local Newcastle bands and so forth. I'll be down there for that, so come get on the beers with me. But yeah, as I said, it's been ages. We've been using these guys, their music and so forth for our intro. We're going to try and look it up. So again, we're going to probably do a little bit of promotion stuff for these boys as well, but a little bit of stuff for us to try and get our name out on their side of the music world. And possibly look at changing up our intro. And that's where we're going to get you guys involved in it. We're going to probably get you guys to go check out their Spotify or something like that, their music, have a listen, and then put in your request for your favourite song. And,
is it going to be like a vote, is it?
Yeah, somewhat like a vote and so forth. I don't know how we're going to sort of run that as of yet, whether we just sort of do it on a particular day or we just sort of put up one of those polls where they can just sort of, we'll run it for 3 weeks or something like that, and everyone can put their shit in. Look, you go, giggling away.
Nah, read the chat.
What do we got? Big shout out for Luke's. Yeah, mate. Yeah, that's it. Hey, Lukey on it. We love the fans. We love the commitment from all you guys. Honestly, all you guys. It's not just Lukey. There's so many blokes in here and girls that jump in the podcast that are here most weeks. Aiden, yourself, Noopy, Elliot,
Timmy.
Timmy Woods is here for 30 seconds every week. We're usually about to wrap up the show, and everyone else in between all that. So as I said, we do.
For those that we don't have metrics of that listen purely on the podcasting
Spotify
side of
everything.
Things.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. We don't. We don't really get to see.
We don't get names of them.
Sort of see who's sort of been listening and everything else on those side of things. But we do thank you guys. We thank everyone, honestly. I think we've got about 330 people who like the Facebook page, which is way more than I would have thought we would have got, honestly. So we do thank everyone for that. As I said, we are going to try and sit down and revamp it and structure it, and heaps of shit happening. But again, it's just so hard. Being in my friggin' life, chasing
getting them to do this is difficult.
Yeah, chasing after kids and shit like that. Honestly, come friggin' 9 o'clock on a Saturday night or whatever it is, when we could probably find 5 or 10 minutes, I'm most likely on the lounge, half asleep. These days,
I'm
nuts.
Generally no different, depending on whether I've been to work during the day on the Saturday or not.
Yeah, so it's just crazy. So but
times are tough, lads. Some of us have got to work 3 jobs.
100%. I can feel you there.
And it's still not enough.
That's right. So
plus stream, plus do a podcast, plus organise family. There's only so many hours in a day, guys.
That's it. If you're not married and you haven't got kids,
stay that way.
It's hard.
Don't have kids. It's a trap.
That's right. But yeah, honestly, guys, we do thank all of you guys. We're sitting here rambling on, so we're going to end it now. But yeah, next week, hopefully, I have spoken to them. They're on board. They're keen. There's mustard to do some stuff. So we'll try and get them on, and for 5-10 minutes, and see where they've been, see how they've been traveling, and what they're up to, and pretty much just as sort of a thank you as well. Thank you for letting us use their music, because at the end of the day, they don't have to. they sort of get nothing out of it as much as we get sort of nothing out of it. But at the end of the day, we do thank anyone.
Well, no, we got content ID strikes for it.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. So at least they're well known. They're well known enough to freaking know that it's not just some povo band or whatever it is who's just freaking made us 5 seconds of freaking music. No, these guys are legit.
Oh yeah, we got claimed by a publishing house.
Contact strike for you.
Yeah, content ID doesn't discriminate against anybody. It doesn't matter whether you're freaking 1 subscriber or fucking 100 million.
Absolutely, exactly right. So we're going to do that. Enjoy your football on the weekend if you get to the game or you watch it on TV. Women's World Cup fixtures will be released at 5 o'clock on Saturday as well. Very exciting. I'll get to find out where the hell I get to go and watch the women's games. I promised the wife that I'll do next year.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look at the fixtures to see which one I can sneak away to.
I gather it's going to be Melbourne. There'll be one at Melbourne. There'll be one at Sydney. There'll be one at Brisbane.
Yeah, but the one at Melbourne will be a fucking huge one.
Oh, yeah. Melbourne and Sydney, 2 big states. Yeah, they'll be massive. They'll be freaking, yeah. So, anyway, be sure to check that out. And as I said, we'll talk about some more footy next week, more topics, everything in between, which we'll try and discuss it. And yeah, other than that, we'll catch you guys next time on the Smashing Crossbar podcast. If you haven't checked out Benny yet, also be sure to go do so and go give us a like on the Facebook page and subscribe on YouTube. We'll catch you guys next week. Take it easy. And as always,
we hate. Just say it at normal speed.
Oh, okay. Righto. Ready? 1,
we hate.
2. No.
All right, you're going to count us in. All right.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
We hate Coast Scum. See?
There we go, guys. See? Much easier. Still delayed.
Much easier.
But we counted everyone in so that they could do it as well. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.